This is in the locker room. This is before the game ended. Before the game ended. She comes out in the locker room and posts this. Like, what are we doing?
Sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, is anybody on this team gonna stand up for Caitlyn Clark? JC Sheldon grabbing Caitlyn Clark all game, clawing at her. It's like tonight was a brawl, folks. Tonight was a brawl, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, is anybody on this team going to stand up for? And Sophie Cunningham.
And let's start with the play that set off the entire night. So as you guys can see here, JC Sheldon is guarding Caitlyn Clark. She swipes her in the eyeball. Caitlyn Clark nudges her off because JC stays in her face. And then Tina Charles runs over and is kind of wagging her finger in Caitlyn Clark's face. And then Marina Mabrey comes out of nowhere and chucks her to the floor. Now let's watch this in slow motion. Here, JC Sheldon is guarding Caitlyn, swipes her in the face. There's one. Going for the ball, swipes her in the eyeball. Caitlyn's gonna have to start wearing goggles. And then Caitlyn pushes her off of her, like, why are you still in my face? Marina Mabrey, bad out of hell, chucks Caitlyn Clark.
Welcome to WNBA Fight Night, or as some people are saying, WNBA Raw. What a game that was. We had it all. We had basketball, we had fighting, we had blonde on blonde crime. Oh, such an epic. Oh, goodness. But at the end of the day, it resulted in an Indiana Fever W. 88-71, taking care of business.
Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We need to talk. The WNBA, a league we all love for its undeniable talent, fierce competition, and celebrated physicality, is currently grappling with a scorching debate that threatens to redefine its very identity. At the heart of this firestorm is one player whose actions have become a lightning rod for controversy, DJ Carrington. Is her style of play simply aggressive, hard-nosed basketball, or has she, in a shocking series of events, crossed a dangerous line, jeopardizing not just opponents, but her own teammates and even the officials who govern the game? This isn't just about a few controversial calls. It's about a persistent, escalating pattern of behavior that's sparking outrage, fear, and urgent questions across the league. Carrington has quickly become notorious, leading the WNBA in one category no player wants to claim: flagrant fouls. In just a little over a month, she's already racked up 3 of them. To put that into perspective, most players go entire seasons without a single flagrant. Carrington has managed 3 in a few short weeks, leaving a trail of injured players and infuriated fans in her wake. This isn't random. It's a signature, a deeply troubling one, that's forcing everyone to ask, when does competitive aggression become outright dangerous? But the sheer number of flagrants, while statistically shocking, only scratches the surface of this unsettling narrative. To truly grasp the gravity of the situation, we need to dive into some specific incidents that have left players shaken and fans demanding action. Take, for instance, the incident on May 21st, a play so shockingly reckless it highlighted a new, disturbing dimension to Carrington's game: the risk she poses to her own teammates. The Dallas Wings were battling the Minnesota Lynx, and everything seemed normal until Carrington decided to make her indelible mark. Jessica Shepard of the Lynx was on a fast break, heading for what should have been an easy, uncontested basket. Then, like a heat-seeking missile, Carrington came flying in from behind. What happened next was pure, unadulterated recklessness disguised as defense. Carrington swiped, not for the ball as she claimed, but directly at Jessica Shepard's face. The contact was so violent, so completely unnecessary, that Shepard went crashing toward the court in a dangerous tumble. And this is where the incident escalated from controversial to utterly astounding. Paige Bueckers, Carrington's own teammate, saw the impending disaster and, with selfless bravery, dove in, desperately trying to break Shepard's fall. In doing so, Bueckers herself ended up getting hurt. Think about that. In her aggressive, wild pursuit of a play that had zero chance of being clean, DJ Carrington managed to injure an opponent and force her own teammate into a perilous, injury-risking position. The aftermath on social media was immediate and brutal. Fans rightly called it a trash play from a dirty player, questioning how many more times Carrington would be allowed to pull stunts like this before facing real consequences. It was called a flagrant 1, though many argued for a flagrant 2, given the clear lack of control and intent behind the action. It wasn't about making a basketball play, it was about the dangerous pursuit of a viral moment, a Kiki fan meme. That almost blew out her own teammate's knee, and the unsettling pattern didn't stop there. How does one player manage to create two separate, dangerous situations in a single game? DJ Carrington answered that question on June 4th during the Dallas Wings matchup against the Seattle Storm. The fourth quarter was winding down, tensions were understandably high, and Skylar Diggins-Smith broke free for what looked like an easy fast break layup. That's when Carrington, once again, decided to make her presence known in the worst possible way. Chasing Diggins-Smith down from behind, Carrington delivered a hard hit directly to Diggins-Smith's head as she went up for the shot. The contact sent Diggins-Smith crashing to the ground in a heap, visibly shaken. The referees immediately called a flagrant 1 foul. Again, video replay showed just how unnecessary the contact was. Carrington had zero chance of making a clean play on the ball, yet she chose to target Diggins-Smith's head anyway. One commentator articulated the sentiment perfectly: "DJ, did you forget what sport you're playing? Do you know this is basketball? Right?" Fan reactions were swift and brutal, perfectly capturing the outrage, calling it a trash play from a dirty player who doesn't belong on the court. It wasn't just about disrupting the play, it was about doing so with a blatant disregard for players' safety, raising both hands and slamming them down in a motion that many argued was intentionally malicious. And if that wasn't enough for a single game, there was yet another dangerous play earlier that same night. Gabby Williams went up for a jump shot, and as she landed, Carrington's foot came right underneath Williams during her shooting motion. Anyone who understands basketball knows how this type of contact can cause serious ankle and knee injuries. Williams rolled her ankle and had to be evaluated. Commentators didn't hold back their criticism, with one simply stating, "This is reckless," while watching the replay. Comparisons to notoriously physical, often controversial, players like Draymond Green or Dylan Brooks started flowing on social media. This Seattle Storm game became a tipping point, where casual observers and diehard fans alike started asking the same question: how many more times is she going to be allowed to do this? The game proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that Carrington's dangerous style wasn't improving or evolving, it was escalating. But to truly understand the roots of DJ Carrington's infamous reputation, we have to trace this pattern of behavior back to a much more high-profile incident, one that first catapulted her onto everyone's radar and etched her name into the minds of WNBA fans for all the wrong reasons. That moment happened during the highly anticipated 2024 WNBA playoffs, at the worst possible time for the Indiana Fever and their transcendent star, Caitlyn Clark. Game 1 of the first-round series between the Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun was supposed to be a landmark event, Caitlyn Clark's playoff debut. The anticipation was palpable. Fans had packed the arena, eager to watch the rookie who had single-handedly transformed women's basketball bring her unprecedented talent to the postseason stage. What they got instead, however, was an unsolicited, painful masterclass in dirty basketball courtesy of DJ Carrington. The play occurred early in the game when Clark was looking to make a pass. Carrington was defending her closely, which, in the intense environment of playoff basketball, is entirely normal. But instead of playing clean, physical defense, Carrington's hand came up with alarming force and made direct, undeniable contact with Clark's face. The result was immediate and visible. Clark went down holding her face, and when she got back up, the damage was undeniable. Caitlyn Clark had a black eye. Not a small bruise or a minor mark, but a full, unmistakable black eye that would last for days, a stark visual testament to the impact of Carrington's reckless play. The rookie who had carried women's basketball to unprecedented heights was now sporting facial damage courtesy of an opponent's dirty play. This wasn't just any regular season game where you shake it off and move on. This was the playoffs, where every possession matters, where momentum swings can decide entire series, and where the physical and mental toll of such an incident can be immeasurable. Clark, showing the incredible toughness that made her a superstar. tried to continue playing, but it was clear the hit affected her performance and confidence throughout the series. When questioned about the incident, Carrington offered a denial that many found disingenuous, stating, I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me. But no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her, actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball and I guess I followed through and I hit her. So, obviously, it's never intentional. That's not even like the type of player that I am. Her insistence that she didn't know she hit Clark in the eye, despite the clear black eye and immediate reaction, further fueled public skepticism. The Connecticut Sun went on to win that series, and many fans were left to wonder how different things might have been if Clark hadn't spent the playoffs dealing with the pain and distraction of Carrington's dirty play. The Fever's championship hopes, along with their star player's face, took a major hit. This incident became the unshakable foundation of Carrington's reputation as the league's dirtiest player, setting the stage for every concerning act that would follow. The black eye on Caitlyn Clark's face wasn't just a bruise. It told a story about the kind of player Carrington had become, but targeting opponents, injuring teammates, and creating on-court chaos wasn't the extent of Carrington's problematic behavior. What happens when a player becomes so problematic that even seasoned referees need security protection just to have a conversation? DJ Carrington answered that chilling question after the Dallas Wings lost to the Chicago Sky on May 30th, creating a post-game scene that perfectly captured her toxic approach to basketball and extended her problematic behavior beyond the court itself. The Chicago Sky had just secured their first win of the season, and emotions were understandably running high in the arena. Typically, players and officials might exchange brief words after games, perhaps discussing a few calls or seeking clarification on certain plays. These conversations are a routine part of professional sports and almost always happen without incident. But Carrington, in her characteristic fashion, managed to turn a mundane interaction into something that demanded an unprecedented security intervention. Roy Golbian was the crew chief that night, and after the final buzzer, Carrington approached him to discuss what she felt were questionable calls during the game. The specifics of what was said remain unclear, but Golbian's reaction spoke volumes. The situation escalated so quickly, and Carrington's demeanor became so threatening, that Golbian motioned for security to step in. He literally called for a security guard to position himself directly between Carrington and the officiating crew. Just think about that for a moment. A referee who deals with heated players and intense emotions every single game felt the need for physical protection during a conversation with DJ Carrington. Fan footage captured the astonishing moment security intervened, showing Carrington continuing her agitated discussion while a guard stood as a physical barrier between her and Golbian. This wasn't just unusual, it was unprecedented, a stark visual indictment of Carrington's alarming pattern of behavior. Most players, even in moments of intense frustration, manage to express their concerns without creating situations that require such an extreme response. Carrington's response on social media, however, made everything worse, revealing a profound lack of self-awareness. She called the referee's action a microaggression and posted, "Security when I'm literally having a civil conversation is insane." Her tone-deaf tweet demonstrated zero understanding of why her behavior might have prompted such a drastic reaction from an official. Fan reactions were swift and merciless, criticizing both Carrington's behavior and her inability to take any responsibility for it. Many pointed out the obvious: if you're acting in a way that makes referees call for security, you're unequivocally the problem, not the victim. The incident highlighted, unequivocally, her consistent pattern of creating unnecessary and volatile confrontations wherever she goes, whether on the court or off it. This referee incident became the final, undeniable piece of evidence, proving that DJ Carrington's issues extend far beyond merely dirty plays during games. Her behavior impacts everyone around her, from opponents to teammates to officials who are simply trying to do their jobs. The evidence is clear, undeniable, and frankly, alarming. DJ Carrington has undeniably earned her infamous reputation through a season of dangerous, reckless plays that put everyone at risk. 3 flagrant fouls in 1 month isn't aggressive defense, it's a pattern of behavior that jeopardizes players' safety across the entire league. The narrative often pushed by commentators, and even some within the league, is that the WNBA is physical and players should expect contact. But there's a cavernous difference between robust, physical competition and plays that actively endanger careers, cause black eyes, put teammates at risk, and necessitate security intervention with officials. This isn't just about a few bad fouls. It's about a consistent, unaddressed pattern of behavior that undermines the very spirit of fair play and professionalism. The WNBA now faces a critical decision about whether to allow this dangerous pattern to continue unchecked. The league prides itself on its rising profile, its incredible talent, and its compelling narratives. But this comes with a fundamental responsibility to safeguard its athletes and uphold the integrity of the game. How long can the league tolerate a player who consistently crosses the line, leaving a trail of injuries, anger, and controversy in her wake? What does this mean for DJ Carrington's long-term career prospects? Will other teams fear her, or will they simply see her as a liability? And what about the WNBA's brand as it tries to attract new fans? Does the league want to be known for thrilling athleticism, or for dangerous plays that could sideline its stars? The WNBA deserves better than cheap shots, blatant recklessness, and post-game confrontations with referees. Clean basketball wins. Championships, not eye pokes, flagrant fouls, and jeopardizing the safety of everyone on the court. It's time for clear accountability, not just for the sake of other players like Caitlyn Clark, Skylar Diggins-Smith, Jessica Shepard, and Gabby Williams, who compete with skill and respect, but for the very future and reputation of the league itself. What do you think about this situation? Do you believe DJ Carrington's actions are simply a byproduct of aggressive play, or do they definitively cross the line into dirty and dangerous territory? What kind of consequences should the league implement to address this pattern of behavior? Is a suspension warranted, or do harsher penalties need to be considered to send a clear message about player safety and the WNBA's values? Let me know your thoughts, your frustrations, and your solutions in the comments below. And if you found this deep dive important, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow fans, and subscribe for more in-depth analyses of the biggest stories and crucial issues shaping the world of sports. We'll be watching closely to see how the WNBA addresses this critical challenge.